Hey guys, it's Dr. Eric. I want to talk to you about Mythbusters. This is our next workshop coming up. Super excited about this one. This is where I'm going to clue you into all of the stuff that you've been told that is absolutely not the truth, that is a lie, that is destroying your health. So specifically on this, we're going to talk about the questions that I've gotten a lot lately from people like you guys, which is, hey, I just turned 40 or 50 or 60. Now they're saying I need this test. They're saying I need a mammogram, or I need to have my prostate checked, or I need to have the colonoscopy. Do I really need that stuff? I don't want to do it. What do I do? Well, I'm going to answer those questions for you at this workshop on August 13th here at 6:30 called Mythbusters. Now, if you haven't gotten signed up, you might want to stop watching this video and go get signed up right now, because we always fill these things up really quickly. And especially this one, I'm pumped up about, because when you do have a birthday, whether it's your 40th or 50th or 60th birthday, what our medical model says to you is, happy birthday, now bend over. We're going to do a million different tests on you now. We're going to get you in this medical model. You're going to take somebody who wasn't in the medical model, who was healthy and felt great, and then they get pushed into the medical model through these tests, and I want you to know the pros and the cons, and specifically the risk of things like false positives and damage from these tests, okay? So we're going to take you through exactly what you need to know to make a smart decision for you and your family. You've heard me talk about it before. No way I'm getting a colonoscopy, and I'll tell you why at the workshop. I'm going to show you the research on why. I'm going to show you the false positives, and I'm going to show you and it's not just me saying I'm going to bury my head in the sand, I don't want these tests. I'm saying I'm going to make a smarter choice, because I know that these tests are not prevention. They're not even early detection. If you have a mammogram, they can't detect the cancer until it's been there for at least 6 to 7 years. That's not early detection. That's late detection. That's sick care. That's waiting until you're sick and then trying to do something from a sick care hospital bed. That's not healthcare, that's sick care. We're going to teach you what true healthcare is, and how to look at these tests and how to look at aging and determine, okay, what do I need to do to prevent my risk of these things? And most of the time it doesn't involve these tests. So let me just take you through a couple of these. I want to show you one on mammograms, because I get this question a lot, okay? So what they say is mammograms prevent cancer, but the fact is that mammograms are not prevention, they're early detection, okay? And I'll show you more about this in a few minutes. But the other fact is that many experts now, and this has been all over the news lately, are not recommending mammograms because of they cause more harm than good, because of the radiation, because of the damage to the breast, and because of all the false positives that happen. Now, again, that's not me saying that. That's not the National Enquirer saying that. There's people saying this that have two initials behind their name, which is MD, all right, the people that are doing these. So one of the studies I'm talking about was in British Medical Journal in 2011. And this is, get a load of this. So they said if 2,000 women were regularly screened for 10 years, all right, so if they took a group of 2,000 women, regularly screened them for 10 years, one woman would benefit and avoid dying of breast cancer. I'm going to say that again. One woman would benefit and avoid dying of breast cancer, which, okay, is great, but what's the risk? 200 women will receive false positives, which means you go home, you freak out, you're scared to death about your health until you get the results, right? And then 10 women will be unnecessarily treated with surgery, radiation, or chemotherapy, which will increase your risk of dying of heart problems and even guess what? Cancer. Is that not insane? Absolutely crazy. This was done in Denmark, and I love this one because this is a long-term study. When you see most of the testing companies or the drug companies saying you need to get this test or that test, there's no long-term study supporting any of this stuff. So this is the longest-term study they've done, 17 years in Denmark, and they took a population that had regular access to the screenings, and then another big population that did not have access to the screenings out in the rural areas. And they said, we're going to follow these two groups. These people are going to get their mammograms like the doctor tells them to. These people don't even go to a doctor, so they're not getting the mammogram. Now, what happens to breast cancer rates? And what they studied and what they found over 17 years is the group that got the testing on a regular basis, breast cancer rates went down by 1%. The group that did not get tested, the breast cancer rates went down by 2% for doing nothing. Think about that for a second. For doing absolutely nothing. So you got to start looking at this from a different standpoint and understanding when they're telling you, oh, it decreases your risk by 33%. What does that actually mean? That's called rubber numbers. I'm going to teach you about that. If you're a man and they say, well, you need to get your prostate tested, you need to get your PSA test, what they're not telling you is that prostate cancer is not something that normally kills you. It's something that you die with, not from. And there's a ridiculous amount of false positives that come with this thing. And they're saying that the PSA is not even a reliable test. So I'm going to take you through that research. We're going to show you exactly what you need to do. And then we'll talk about colonoscopies, and I'll tell you why I'm never going to get one of those, even though I've had people in my family die of all types of different diseases. And here's just a little snippet so you can start to understand this. if you really prevent and you live from a prevention standpoint and you really look at building your health rather than neglecting your health and then all of a sudden trying to do something when you get a positive test, that's so much more powerful, right? So just one little simple thing that you can do. I'm going to talk about this again at the workshop coming up. This is our Mythbusters workshop coming up on August 13th, 6:30 here at the office. And this is just one I wanted to show you. Some of you guys have seen this before. This is disease incidence prevention by 25-OHD, which is vitamin D levels, okay? So if you just did something as simple, so instead of going through the mammograms and you gotta get 10,000 women screened or 2,000 women screened for one person to get some help, here's something that can provide help and will 100% of the time. You know, I was watching something the other day, it was a drug commercial, and it said, when diet and exercise fail, then do this. Well, guess what? Diet and exercise don't fail. All right. So just real simple things that you can do. Here's one of them. This is breast cancer specifically. So if we look at how much you can decrease your risk of breast cancer by taking the right amount of vitamin D. If you're here, it's at 30%. If you're here, it's 83%. If you take the right amount of vitamin D, simple, basic thing that you can do every day, and you get your blood levels up to 50 or more, you're at 80. You reduce your risk of breast cancer by 83%. Now, would you rather do that, or would you rather go, put your breast in between two panes of glass, smash it together, and take a picture? It's just so barbaric the way that we do it. Plus, you talk about all the radiation that happens from those yearly mammograms. It's just insane. So you could do something simple, easy, cheap, and that's why you haven't heard about it, because no one's making billions and billions and trillions of dollars on vitamin D. So I'm going to teach you all of these things. We're going to talk about fever. We're going to talk about NSAIDs. We're going to talk about a million different things, and I'm going to have some Q&A. So bring your questions to this workshop. Again, this is Mythbusters coming up on August 13th, 6:30 on Monday night here at the office. If you haven't gotten signed up, make sure you do that now, because as always, we fill up usually within a few days. Tell your friends about this. Tell the people that have been brainwashed and lied to, have been told, hey, they think I'm just going to wait until I'm sick and then do something about my health. That's like lambs to the slaughter. It's up to us to reach out and help those people. It's up to us, because if we know the truth, it's up to us to go get them. So the skeptical person that you know, bring them, because I guarantee this is going to be an exciting workshop. People are going to have questions. People are going to be, some people might be a little bit uncomfortable, I hope, which is going to be great, because I want to show you the truth so you can make a real decision for your health. So can't wait to see you guys at Mythbusters coming up. Talk to you soon.